Hi, Sai. Hiromi Yaidin. I'm Hiromi, they, them. I'm the creative lead for Scion, as well as writer and developer for many Scion titles and loads of other games. This is Scion Showcase, where a bunch of writers and developers finally get to play the game that we talk a lot about and cause chaos for each other in the process. We're coming to you from Snohomish lands. By the time this episode comes out, there's a decent chance that Scion Gods. Hey, Hiromi from the future here. Scion God's backer kit campaign is live now, and you can go check the thing out. Let's meet our players and think about who they might be following on Instagram or whatever social media their character might be on. So let's start with David. Who are you? Who are you playing? And who are they following on Instagram?
My name is David Castro, they, them. I am playing Damien De La Cruz. I am a writer and developer for Scion. I'm developing a path to Epithesis, and I have written on a ton of Scion books, like Scion Dragon, out now. That's me. Oh, who am I following on Instagram? So many thirst traps. Just so many. It's only thirst traps.
Is Damien following these on main, or does Damien have like an alt account?
This is on main. There's no shame in Damien's game.
Awesome. Michaela, who are you? Who are you playing? And who are they following on Instagram? Or whatever social media they might be on.
Hello everyone, I am Michele Masola, he, him. I'm a writer for several Onyx Path properties, from the Chronicles of Darkness, which is Paradox, but you get what I mean. Also wrote for the World of Darkness, Scion, the Trinity Continuum, and a writer and developer for the Day King from Line. I'm playing as Elena Torns Rappaccini, Scion, they, them, a Scion of Veles of the Bogovi. And I think that Elena probably follows mostly accounts that post stuff about, honestly, they are on Instagram to see pictures of animals and the landscapes and that sort of stuff. And they open and scroll and see those sorts of videos when you see, I don't know, a pond full of crocodiles that try to eat something close, or just a fox moving nearby a photographer and nuzzling them, or penguins being found. Those are the sort of accounts Elena follows.
Nice. And Elliot, who are you? Who are you playing? And who are they following on Instagram?
I am Elliot Freeman. I am playing Beauregard Prescott, BP. And he is clearly following Addie, who his follower, who ends up leading him much more into trouble, and probably whomever she has told him to add on Instagram, as well as he'll tell you that's the only thing he's following, but he's almost certainly like ruined his algorithm by looking at those inexplicable like DIY videos where they just ruin something progressively. Like they make the ugliest cement bird bath and they have to like ruin a Chanel bag to do it. Like that's his version of doom scrolling, is just watching those and getting progressively more and more angry at them.
It's fucking amazing. Last time around, we were getting into interesting and weird things happening to folks in Mrs. and the Daughter's Mansion. Had just traded the Titan spawn who'd been making your lives crappy, or at least more complicated and deadly. Bogdan, you are aware that someone is next to you, in addition to the Rakshasa, at the same time that you hear this person. Privet, brat. Jak dela? And in that moment, you're looking at yourself and you shoot the Rakshasa in the face, and it falls back into the house. They're never going to believe you. And you throw a gun at yourself.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last sentence.
You throw, that you throws the gun at you. He started trying to play it cool and then realized that Helena knew that he knew that Helena knew what was going on. It's like, well, so turns to Helena. Привет, брат. Меня зовут Богдан. Приятно познакомиться, Helena. Ты пажная деде? Ты пажная деде. Это хорошо. Очень хорошо. Which Helena understands.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of messing with their mind a little bit, because up until now, they had seen and they'd been around the Ukrainian population of Seattle, but like probably never learned any Slavic language. So hearing, hello, sibling, my name is Bogdan. It's good to meet you finally. You smell like uncle. You really smell like uncle. That's good. Very good. And, well, how do you react to that? I'm sorry, did you just say fucking 11 successes?
What?
Out here rolling as if we're playing Shadowrun over here.
What the fuck?
Did you take an excellency?
How many dice did you roll that you
I start rolling by
then add 3 and get 11?
I roll 10 dice.
What do you want to have happen? Because this fight is over.
I do have the melee tag, so that's 12. Thanks, Elliot. You're right.
And yeah, so
okay. Well,
pull
let's
off
start
3
with
successes
critical.
to pull off 3 successes for the difficulty. You have an additional 2 for the purpose of buying stunts. So you have 10 successes to buy stunts with, which might actually be every stunt.
Snicker snack is what I hear.
So
yeah.
let's start with critical. And that's 4 for critical.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Shove them back 6 times your might. Directly into the ground.
Or
yes,
up.
Let's push him into the ground.
Do you want to knock
the ground
him up instead so that you can Shoryuken on your next action?
No, I'm gonna stab him really hard into the ground, in the sense that he goes like 2 times my strength into the ground, even if that doesn't crush anything, but it's still 10 meters of kinetic force into the ground. So that's 6
there's a crater around his body.
Okay.
So
I don't. Let's blind him. You know, for the pain or something. It's 7. Knockdown. It's obviously down. So
Yeah, already
no.
there.
No, let's not no down because it is already down.
there.
He's already
let's
down.
sunder him. His gear is out.
Sure. Yeah,
Let's put a like pox on his family, like whatever other nonsense.
He's going to wake up in a cold sweat for the next 10 years with Helena's face. You are now his sleep paralysis demon.
Well, I'm good with
Is
that.
there a stunt for PTSD? Because like that's where we are now.
I'll impose it as a condition.
Oh,
Shit.
Yeah.
Post Elena Rappaccini's traumatic disorder.
Post Thorns.
Post it's perfect because it's right PTSD. And I
Yes.
still haven't used my name of Thorns with the others because that didn't rise. The opportunity that didn't rise. So let's go at it as the first time Elena actually uses their battle name in here. And since he introduced himself with me as Bogdan and say I smell like my uncle, and I remember distinctly the last time when he said, "Nobody is gonna believe me when he killed the Rakshasa," so I'm gonna stab him really hard into the ground and say, "My name is Thorns, and you better believe this one piece of shit." Drop the mic and
Girl. Damien in the background quietly goes, "World Star."
As you're stabbing and saying that, a second voice kind of comes out at the beginning of that, and like it is your voice. You are saying it, and at the same time you're saying, "My name is Thorns." You are also saying "Menyas of Thorns," which means the same thing. And
one of my favorite tropes in fantasy, especially like urban fantasy, is the moment when a character says, "I don't speak language here," in that language. It's my favorite thing. I love it.
Okay.
So you like pin him to the ground, and in the process of doing so, crater him into the ground. Deliver your a fuck you. Drop the mic, which is also a shard of glass, and the street's empty. Damien, BP, Helena's kind of translucent right now. Helena, you see no one here. It's the same street. There is no crater. There is no Bogdan. There's no glass. The cafe looks actually better than when you showed up. It's still empty, but it looks like the idyllic form of the cafe. And you hear bears, and you know they're brown bears. You've heard this kind of bear before.
Okay.
Kind of rotating out of the earth, as though your frame of reference just kind of shifts on its side. You see a about 6'6". Sorry. What the fuck is that in meters? 2 meters. Fuck it. Whatever. 2 meters. I'll look it up later. 2 meters tall, just like beefy, but like beefy but lean doesn't really make sense, but it's kind of true. Huge beard and a giant smile. Just looks, you would think that he would look down on you just from the height, but no, he's looking you level in the eyes, and it's just like, my child, you have not done what I thought you would do. You have done something better. Do you know who I am?
I do have a feeling, even if I didn't ever talk about this with the others.
You, in addition to your feeling right now, you remember in real time, like 3 or 4 months ago, when a voice was whispering to bet more. Same voice.
Okay.
And you know I am. You know who you are now. You are not, actually, sorry, I need to check your character sheet. You're chosen, yeah?
No, I'm born.
Oh, then, yeah. I do not need to maximize that window. You're my child. Your life from here only gets more complicated, but I have faith that you will find your way through these challenges. I would ask that you be a little more tricky, but I can't argue with results. That cheerful, ridiculously proud voice and laughter just sort of echoes in your mind as the entire world just sort of flips upside down. Like you're standing still, the world rotates around you as though it has gone from day to night. And you're back in the street, and you have one legend now.
Oh, someone just got their visitation.
Damn.
I believe that we have one more thing to accomplish. Rajit's body is here. He will not return to the living, but his travels are not over yet. I sense that you can do something about that. And in exchange for this deal, you will do something about this. You could not quite see the spirit of the dead Rakshasa approach you, but you could certainly feel it, like the hairs on your skin just sort of like pricked up, and you feel haunted, but not necessarily in a bad way, but definitely in a supernatural way. And the stone skull, the semi of Makatauri Huyaba, is just sort of pulsing. And as that sort of pulls focus from your surroundings, what's going on inside this courtyard that is also inside of a building, you notice that the surroundings, Mrs. Nadar's mansion and the fountain that's in the middle, and all of the Rakshasa, your friends and companions, all of that just sort of becomes gray and muted. But the figure in front of you that looks mostly like the Rakshasa that you saw before, like Rajit, starting to come more into focus, less transparent, less of a feeling, and more of an entity. What are you doing?
Damien sort of looks and notices all of these things at once. This is not a feeling that he is unaccustomed to, this hauntedness, but he's never had an explanation as to what it is and never really put much thought into it. In the sort of way, like everybody feels like this, obviously. He's very wrong, but while Rajit approaches, question, is Rajit normally very different from the other Rakshasas? Like, visibly not in the, like, he's the only one colored in right now in this whole world of gray, but like, does he look like the other ones, or is he like, are they each visually distinct?
Each of the Rakshasa are, they have their own sort of look to them. Rajit has more of like a lover and a fighter vibe, or at least he used to. Like, I don't think that Damien got to see. No, actually, so Damien didn't directly see Rajit in his human form, but Damien
We
did
did
get
see him
to see the
skip
footage.
across yeah.
Like the footage of him getting shot by Bogdan. So you got to see him looking like, have you ever seen kind of the slick, smooth talker types who are just sort of like hanging around lonely, wealthy women? That is the
Yes.
distinct vibe that you get from Rajit. It's not necessarily exploitative. It's not necessarily that he's preying upon them. It's that he views relationships as transactional and he wants to get paid.
You don't know why your words bring this image to my brain, but I have to share it with you. As you're describing this, the only image in my brain is a like darker skin hued Matthew McConaughey. I don't know why I have that image in my brain, but I do now. So that's just what this character looks like now.
All right.
Okay. So I sort of I take a step back and listen, I don't have any problem. I thought we just dealt with this. I don't have any problem with you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you want, but I'm going to need you to like at least take one whole step back, my dude.
He less takes a step and more just kind of flows backwards.
What the absolute fuck?
Yeah, it
That's in character, sorry.
in Damien's mind, the movement looked more bat-like than anything. And you're not entirely certain that that is what Rajit was wanting to happen. You have like half a feeling that maybe that was you. You did just tell him to move back, and the spirit moved back.
Okay. Rajit, right? I'm saying that correctly?
Yeah. Yes, this is very strange.
I'm supposed to guide you to your underworld. I don't know where Rakshasa go when they die. Frankly, I did not know they could die.
It's kind of news to me too. I mean, everyone who dies in my general world, they go to Naraka to face judgment by the Yamaraja. So I guess I'm supposed to go there instead of going straight to an afterworld or an afterlife or an underworld. It's all kind of strange because Rakshasa, we come from the Rakshasa Loka, the Loka just above the world. But I have also never met a dead Rakshasa, so I don't know if I go back there.
I guess we're about to find out. Let's go. And I turn and walk out of the room.
As you turn, you're out of the room. You are out of Mrs. Nathar's mansion. You are completely different area. It is, you're standing on clouds. Feels completely solid, but you're standing on clouds.
What time of day is it?
It looks a little bit past noon.
Okay.
And there's a mountain in front of you and a long line of people trying to go in.
We walk up to the end of the line and say, excuse me, where do I happen to be?
You're in Naraka. I want to say that you don't belong, but you do, but you don't. I'm dead and you're breaking my brain. I am deeply uncomfortable now. And that spirit just sort of stops talking and stares at where their feet would be if they had feet.
Yeah, this isn't about me. I'm not here for me. I'm here for this guy. And I point over my shoulder where I'm assuming Brigitte is.
Yeah, Brigitte's like right behind you. And that spirit looks up and is even more confused and just sort of like shuffles back a step. And it does not look like the wavering when Raji looked back. It looks like he just takes a step back and just motions you to cut in line because he's dead and about to be judged, and this interaction is taking even more energy from him.
I look over my shoulder. Does Rajit still look like a person, or like a human, or is he in full Rakshasa form now?
Full Rakshasa form. although there are hints of his previous human form in that there is a super fine suit, like well tailored, but like sluttier than you would find on at a tailor. So like that he's not wearing a dress shirt. He does have a vest, but is like very clearly cut to like accentuate his chest. And the suit jacket is not buttoned. He looks like a slutty cat person in a vest. Sorry, in a suit. And that is, you get the feeling sort of Rajit's internal image of himself, and also the truest expression of who he was in life.
Slutty cat person.
In a suit, yes.
I sort of look over. It takes a second. I mutter under my breath, fucking furries. And then I say to him, I guess you get the fast pass to your afterlife, I guess. Let's go. And I start walking up the line, just bypassing all these spirits.
Yeah.
Does anybody stop me?
They don't look. They all look like they think that you shouldn't be cutting, but none of them make any move to prevent or even to make you feel bad about it. They just sort of give you the look.
As a New Yorker, I am inured to that look. That look cannot harm me. So I'm cutting the line. I get to whatever the Deva version of the pearly gates are. And say, excuse me, I have exited business with my client.
You see this gigantic does he have 4 arms or 6? I think he has 4 arms. Giant 4-armed blue person with just the biggest, coolest crown you have seen. Whether or not he keeps that title as we go on, that's up to the future. But for right now, the coolest and most ornate crown that Damien has ever seen. And is on top of a bull, and the bull just looks like if a bull could look like a classy badass, like I'm not saying that this bull looks like the bovine equivalent of John Wick, but the bull kind of looks like the bovine equivalent of John Wick. Still a huge bull, still very much a 4-legged creature, but like if this bull looked at you with like some kind of heat in the eyes, you'd feel bad. You'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, okay, Damien may or may not. Everyone else would be like, sorry, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of innately know that this is Yamaraja, Lord Yama, the kind of the judge of the dead. There's more to it than that, but I'm not going to go into it.
What's important for right now?
Yes. You, Deathling. How do you judge this Rakshasa? What of his life? What of his death? Where would you place him in the cosmos for this turn of the wheel?
Okay. Damien, unless Damien gets information from this, Damien doesn't know how to answer this question. I mean, he wasn't a bad guy insofar as I could tell. He had friends and people who cared about him. He was killed unjustly as a part of a different Titan Spawns game. And I was tasked to deliver him to the afterlife. So I'm gonna guess he was probably a exemplary Rakshasa, whatever that means.
An exemplary Rakshasa. Interesting. And he died to treachery, you say?
Due to treachery, yes.
That is all too common these days. So, an exemplary Rakshasa, which suggests that he was, well, not necessarily good, but not evil. His master, well, she'll face her own judgment one day. You, spirit, what do you have to say of yourself? I lied, and I was a trickster. I fought battles. You fought alongside Ravana's, we'll say, child. Yeah, yes, I did fight alongside Miss in the Dark, yes. Did you take lives? Yes, I was a warrior. I fought. I slew no innocents. And my battles were, I would call them just.
Mutual combat and all that jazz. Listen, I believe Rajit was everything that he was born to be. If he was a warrior who fought battles, I believe him when he tells me that he killed no innocents. And besides, who among us can be called innocent? Truly. I think he should go on to whatever reincarnation y'all do. Reincarnation, I believe, right? That a skilled combatant should go to.
You present an interesting case, Deathling. Rajit. I do not believe you have accomplished enough to escape samsara. There is still more suffering ahead of you, but there is also still life. You will be reborn, and this time, you will learn a little more. And you see Rajit start to bow, and then at a certain point, you're like, he'll stop bowing and return to full height, right? And that doesn't happen. He starts bowing and then just sort of folds in to nothingness. You're not really sure where he went, but you are 60% certain that you probably don't need to go there. And you start hearing a dog howling. Not like mournfully or aggressively, just sort of as a, hey, hey, hey.
I start moving towards the sound.
You're on a beach. It is brighter here. It is more colorful here. The surf is just sort of lapping against your feet. It is very warm here, but it doesn't feel hot. It doesn't feel like the sun is trying to punish you for existing. It feels like it's just warm and pleasant. There's a cool breeze going past. You feel like if you had to stay here, you'd be pretty happy. And you start getting a better feel of where that howling was coming from. And you also hear the flap of bat wings fly past your head towards that direction.
I duck real quick and then okay, guess we're doing this and follow the bat.
The bat just sort of blows past you and into a cave where a white kind of lanky dog is sitting in front of the gothest looking Puerto Rican you've ever seen. Like not dressed in European clothes at all. So like not a modern concept of a goth, and certainly not like a Victorian mourning type goth, but as kind of his own unique flavor of indigenous Puerto Rican goth. Like everything on him looks like it fits in the almost purest form, but that doesn't mean that he's not still very pale, nor does it mean that his clothes are any less of a stark contrast. Calm yourself. Hello, me. Come. I've grown. Let me look at me.
I don't know who or what you think you are or I am, but as my mother would say, I am not the one. I don't know what this is, but I need to go back to my friends. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you're not me anymore. You're not me either. Interesting. Tell me, what have we done outside these caves? What is the world like these days?
It's fucked up, but like in a way that there is profit and benefit to be had from those who took it from those who should have had it. So it's sort of cyclical, which feels the way it's always been.
That does seem like an echo. And where do you stand on this echo? Are you helping its reverberation? Are you dampening it? Are you riding its wave?
I'm living, man. I'm trying to do for me and mine what I can do while trying to stop those assholes who take from us to take even more. I try and take what I can back. I pull the stone out of my pocket like I took this. This was going to go into some white man's museum. It's not going back anywhere besides my pocket right now, but you know, I can only do so much.
That is a very interesting stone. Have you looked at it? Have you really looked at it?
One, and I ended up in fucking Boston. So, you know, I haven't since. What is it? I've been carrying it around for 2 days, and for most of that time I forgot I had it, which isn't like me. So what's the deal?
Look at it again. I assure you that you will not be in Boston.
And I do. I look into the eyes of the smiling death face on the stone.
It's not there, or at least it's not in the same form. It has your face, and then you blink, and it has his face. And then you blink, and you're not sure which one of your faces is on it now. It seems like both and neither, but maybe one or the other, or all four possibilities at the same time.
Oh fuck. I move to drop it, but my hand doesn't open.
You don't need to leave that here. It's, well, you can already see that it's part of you, and it was part of me, but I think there's more of you in it than there is of me now. It's becoming your own, just as you are becoming your own. I didn't foresee this. You surprised me, Damien de la Cruz. You surprised me. That doesn't happen often. I forgot what it felt like. I think you're going to do just fine. But maybe not in the same way that you thought when you found it. As to your question, your concerns, it is part of you, and it will lead you where you need to go. When you are unsure of what happens, what will happen, what has happened, look upon it. You'll have a much better idea. Also, he seems as though he's pulled out a rock from nowhere that looks fairly similar. You seem like You want a connection that is perhaps more personal, but perhaps less personal. Like something that is more approachable. Here is not exactly your great-great-great-grandfather, but a person who fills that role. They are down with me. But from time to time, their voice will be with you. And sometimes that's better. He doesn't hand you the stone, but it's there in your other hand anyways. And it feels familiar. It feels like it's part of your family, but it also feels a little cold. And it doesn't quite send a shiver up your spine, but it feels like it's just on that cusp.
Oh man, what is happening? Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You have a very strange path ahead of you, but you get to choose what forks you take on it. You get to make choices that I could not. To speak plainly, since while you enjoy illusions, perhaps you don't enjoy being on the outside of them. You were once part of me. If you weren't aware, I am Makatauri Huyaba. The dead come to me. And a bat flies between the two of you and into the cave. Yes?
Is that a go?
Yes. They need a place to rest. I provide that. Those who have lived their lives, they've done much. They could use a respite. Everyone does in the end. You were once part of me, and I thought perhaps you would stay part of me. But you're your own person now. It is a surprise, but not an unwelcome one. Because you're not me, not anymore, I can't provide you the kind of help that I thought I would be able to. But I do think you're going to need less of my help than I thought you might. You are already formidable. And I think you're only going to get more of yourself.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
I sort of just look around, see the dog again. And nice dog, I guess.
Obiyahuabiran? I should have practiced that. Obiyahuabiran is a very good dog. From time to time, he may check on you, but I suspect you won't need it. I think it will be more to solve my worries than to actually assist you. But who knows? I don't.
Wow. Is there anything I should? Could I be bowing? I feel like I should be kneeling or something. I don't know what the protocol is for this. What?
You don't need to bow to me. I receive my respect in my own way. Bat flies past.
Okay. Let me know if I can do anything or if you need anything, or I guess I'll pray to you.
I think
To
that you're
me?
already on. Now you're starting to get how truly weird this is. And I think that the path that you're on, the perceptions that you have of the world and how you want to deal with it, are the only thanks or prayer that I need. So live your life. It is yours now. And
Thanks.
you that the sound of the waves and the surf just kind of continuously grows until it's the only thing that you can hear, and then the only thing that you can perceive at all.
That's
And then you're in a museum, and it's after hours. There's a Taino artifact. It has a little placard in front of it that talks about how it was procured and how they don't know what the hell it is. They're just calling it a fertility object or a ceremonial object. It's clear that whoever wrote the placard just has no idea. You're not entirely sure what it is either, but you know that the placard is wrong.
Is the item behind glass?
It is, and the glass case feels kind of trivial to you.
Is it a case I can open, or the sort of case where like I'd like to remove the glass, or is it like a door that can be opened?
There's a door that could be opened. It's currently locked, but
do I have to roll to attempt to unlock it?
no, you can just do it.
I unlock it and take the thing, whatever it is.
You feel pretty good about doing it.
Do alarms start going off or anything?
They don't.
Then I leave and trying to figure out which museum I'm in.
You exit. You probably take a little bit of time to temporarily disarm the alarm on the door, but that's pretty trivial. And you exit. It smells like Boston.
Fucking Boston. Motherfucking Beantown.
BP has just seen something move towards Damien, and then Damien just sort of blur. And you saw this happen earlier today when Thorns just kind of froze and blurred a little bit, and then came back not physically taller, but very perceptively taller. Like still the exact same height, but holy shit. I don't know what like the height difference is between the two of you, but probably felt like they were able to look down on you, even if that's not actually physically true.
Damien is 6'2".
So at this point, there is the sounds of the fountain in the middle of Mrs. Nadara's mansion. It's just sort of softly bubbling and burbling, and there's two of your companions. Sorry, one of your companions is there but not there, and it feels like there's something of a spotlight on you. Like you're not, there's no lighting difference that you can perceive, but with Damien kind of fading off, you feel like that means that there are more eyes focused on you. And glancing around, that might actually be true. You're not sure. Mrs. Nadar fixes you with a look. There is I believe you have a visitor.
I don't understand.
You will. You hear a door knock right behind you.
Turn around and see what's...
You turn around and you're at home, not in the apartment that you live in at home. You've never been here before, but this is your home. And you're in front of a door.
Okay. Weird stuff. This is fine. Just roll with it and knock on the door.
The door opens and you see the most grandmother like the most grandmothery figure that you could imagine, but like not just one with sort of caring and cookie tins filled with sewing supplies, but a grandma who's seen some shit, and you are positive that if someone messed with you in public, there would be a brick in her handbag and she would clobber that person with it. Like, you have seen her for 2 seconds at this point, and you already have the understanding that she would mash someone's head for you. Ah, Beauregard, you're here finally. It took you a while to get here, but I always wish that people would visit sooner than they have. How are you? Have you been eating well?
Not as well as usual, but it's been a weird couple of days. He's just decided to go 100% with it.
Oh, you should come in. I just made some cookies and some spanakopita. You should have some. You're looking skinny. I don't know what they're doing to you in the world, but they should treat you better.
Thank you. Goes in. Yeah. Just vibing with it.
This
Yeah.
This feels it feels like both your home and your grandmother's home, and you've never been here before, nor have you ever seen this woman, but that doesn't seem to actually matter right now. So I understand that there's been some problems. You had to fight a little bit, didn't you? Or at least
There might have been a little consternation going on around me.
well, I'm glad to see that you came out of it okay. I think you being able to survive on your own is a good sign.
I'm not really on my own. I've got Addie and I've got Thorns, I've got Damien, I've got Mitch, and you know.
Oh, that's true. Yes, you have that nymph. Oh, that's gonna make him mad when he realizes. Oh, good on you, Beauregard. You're such a good boy. And you beat up a child of Chort, didn't you? Or at least you and your friends did. And
it was a team effort, but I think I held my end of it. I did tackle him to the ground, and
oh,
I probably would have been able to do more, but then my friend Thorns just I don't know. She apparently they can just crater people now, so that's a thing.
it's a good ally to have on your side. And I also understand that you sold but not sold the child of Chort to Ravan. Well, not Ravan, but it doesn't matter.
That wasn't really my score to settle.
I'm proud of you anyways. It is a very strong way to make sure that you survive, that you live on, and that the world lives on.
Ma'am, I get the feeling that I know you, but I also do feel like I have to ask, since you know who I am, and I mean no offense, but who are you?
Oh, I'm the All-Mother. Well, I suppose All-Mother depends on who you ask, but certainly one of yours. Some people call me Gaia, but If they're calling me by that name, then they probably don't know me very well, and then I would wish that they didn't call me at all.
Is there something you'd prefer for me to call you?
Perhaps Gammy.
I can do that. I think so. Gammy?
And I think you started with one questionable ally, and you now have 4 of them, which I have to say that I didn't see you traveling those threads of fate, and yet here you are, making them into your own tapestry. I'm so proud of you, Beauregard. You know, there's a war coming. There's a time when those who've wronged us, they'll have a second chance to fall, and you don't have to hurt anyone, but maybe you'd like to make sure that they get what's coming to them, or at least they don't hurt anyone else.
Ma'am? I'm not sure I understand.
You know that the gods and the Titans, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And you know that long ago that the Titans and the gods, they got into a little bit of a kerfuffle, you might say. And, well, the gods ended up on top, and the Titans didn't. It's the way that things happen a lot of the times, and many of the times, those who end up on the bottom, they don't need to be there. It hurts to be there. It's not their fault, but being underneath someone else's heel is not ideal, if you catch my meaning. It's
I believe I do.
the first time that happened, they call it the Tatanamaki, and there might be another one of those coming. I want you to know about it. I don't want you to worry about it, but I do want you to be prepared and ready for it if and when it does come.
Are you Titan?
That's what they call us. Mother Earth, and they've made me out as a villain.
Does that make me...
I think it makes you whatever you want to be. Your origins don't define who you are. You can be who and what you want. As much as I would like you to follow my footsteps and where I go, you don't have to. You're your own person. It's very much a matter of wanting to keep you safe, wanting to make sure that you survive, even if I don't.
Do you think you'd be in danger?
A second to Tanemaki means there's no safety net. Some people that fall, they're not going to get up. And I'm the All-Mother. Well, Echidna might have something to say about that, but maybe the most mother. I have too many children in this for me to stay on the sidelines. There's no neutrality for me, which means when and if it comes, they're coming for me, which means they're probably going to come for you. I don't want them to. I would like you to live your own life on your own terms. But I'm not going to lie. You will be in danger. Even more danger than you've seen.
I don't understand, but I think I might be beginning to.
Beginnings are important. They lead you where you need to go. Maybe not where you want to go, but I hope that you can steer that ship yourself. I'll help as much as I can. I want you to stay safe. I want you to survive. And I have a little trinket that might help you with that. It's a little strange. But
Ma'am?
what isn't strange these days?
Strange seems to be my resting state, so.
Well, then perhaps this won't seem too odd. So you see, well, what do you see?
3 of diamonds.
You have to watch what you see. What you see is not always what's there. And what you don't see, well, I found this right behind your ear. I don't know how you held it behind your ear, but might be useful for you someday. But of course, you don't need it. You don't need it to be a sword all the time. Maybe a little stone would be easier for you to hold for right now. I want you to have this.
He reaches out and grabs it, and looks at it and nods and just kind of does that thing where you feel the weight, both physical and metaphorical. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, Beauregard. I think more specifically than just danger coming, I think you might have something coming from, well, Zeus. But you'll see him coming. He's
Not subtle.
ostentatious. He's crafty. Don't mistake his audacity for blatancy. He's crafty. but he will always let you know it's been him.
I was going to ask if I should be worried. I feel like the better question might be, how worried should I be?
Moderately. I don't suspect that you're in immediate harm's way. Certainly not while you're in Mrs. Nadadar's mansion. But outside, moderately. There's probably nothing coming for you immediately, but there's always something on the horizon.
Watch out for thunderstorms.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see it coming. I'm not sure how well that'll help you, but at least it'll give you a chance to prepare.
Yes, ma'am.
You take good care of yourself, Beauregard. And take a cookie for the road.
He takes a cookie and he bites into it a bit and smiles and nods.
The cookie tastes like sunshine. Like, it tastes like you have been laying out on a field. Nice blue sky, wind blowing across. Just the right temperature. Sun's not in your eyes, but it's there, warming your skin a little bit. And then you hear the fountain again. You still have the stone in one hand, and you still have half a cookie.
Well, fuck. Mrs. Nadar still behind me?
She's, yeah.
Or around?
Yeah.
I turn around, still holding like the cookie and the stone, just like, do you want half this cookie?
You're offering me half of the cookie?
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I figure at this point, look, I'm just having a time. Yes or no?
That is very understandable. Yes, I would love half of that cookie. Thank you.
He breaks a piece off and gives it to her.
Mrs. Nadar, you've seen her mostly serious and then also rage-filled and then slightly mirthful. This is the first time you've seen her happy as she bites into the cookie. You have not seen her happy until this moment. And she gives you a very approving nod.
Yes, ma'am.
You're an odd one, but I like you anyways.
Thank you. You seem pretty nice too, now that you're not trying to vehicularly homicide me and my friends a little bit.
I hope you didn't take that personally. I mean, a little protective.
Yeah, I can get that.
Now we can talk about legendary titles, which often are related to visitations, which you've had. So let's see. I just had the rules for those up. Well, I mean, the rules are more about how to use them than they are about making them. So the the idea of a legendary calling is, a legendary title is that, I'm gonna say that again without hitting my mic. The concept of a legendary title is that it's something that sort of encapsulates your character and is so in tune with who they are and what they do that they can sort of tap it in order to go, I am more like myself right now, so therefore I can do this thing. And it's a little open-ended because Scion is a little open-ended, because there's a lot of things that happen in this game that if we tried to make explicit rules for, we would need a rule book that's like fucking Mage 20.
How many pages is that?
I think it's about 1,000.
Jesu.
Oh, I'm sorry. 650.
Okay, so like Exalted Core. Gotcha.
I do know that Seder cut a bunch of stuff out of that, and that's why we have well, everything that he's made for the vault, as well as a few of the books that have spun out from there. Anyway, does anyone have an idea for what they think their character's legendary title ought to be?
That's the part of characterization I have the most trouble with. So my answer is sadly, not really.
Okay. So I think maybe
Yeah, I have a brief idea, but I'm having internet problems and I'm switching to my hotspot right this second. So I will give you my answer in a moment.
okay.
I have a notion. Which might be something like Friend of Monsters, or
Friend of Monsters is a nice both. So I love it.
Mhm.
It's true. Like it is in keeping with stuff that BP has done, and it can be used in a variety of ways. So like if you're in a tight spot and you would like maybe a monster to show up and fight on your behalf, then Friend of Monsters means, hey, go have an ally. Alternatively, it could be, well, that monster that's giving you a hard time, maybe it doesn't give you such a hard time anymore. Maybe you're friends. And that's kind
Or
of
that monster's your dun dun dun.
I think having titles that are relatively short and ambiguous is kind of the way to go when thinking about them. I don't know if any of you have played Fate. Yeah.
So much.
Love Fate.
Yeah, Fate has this concept baked into character creation. Like everyone has this. I need to actually Elliot,
Yes.
you said you've played it a lot.
Yes.
So you might remember more of the rules off the top of your head than I do. What are they called? And
Aspects.
there we
Mhm.
go. Thank you. And how do we make good ones?
It's one of those things that I've internalized so much that I now have to like unpack the layers that I've built up for myself. You want it to be,
If I may,
yeah, go for it.
so I play a lot of Dresden Files, which is based on Fate.
Mhm.
And when I'm making aspects or using aspects, I like the aspect to be either a sentence unto itself, where you could just say this and that's what you're tagging, or have it be concise enough where it could be in the sentence of the justification for use. So because tag name here, I am doing this thing, give me my +2, or insert thing I'm doing here.
Nice.
My main problem when it comes to legendary titles is that I often find difficult to differentiate them from the Pantheon Path, because Pantheon Path often are an expression of what you want your Scion to become. Sorry, there.
Yeah, to jump in again. Yeah, I mean, I think of it as a fourth path, honestly.
Yeah, it's that fourth path thing that troubles me a bit, because, for example, I picked for Thorns for the Bogovi path. They are I picked Nature's Wrath Incarnate. For so I was thinking that the books gives you an example to look at callings, at the combination of callings as a guidance for what you want to do. It gives you example keywords, and I have an idea, but I'd like to present that to you see if it makes sense and if it's different enough from the paths, if it's all right with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Since I have Judge, Trickster, and Warrior, I'm keeping with the team because the concept is that one. Because I was thinking of a rebellious voice of nature, which is similar to Nature's Wrath Incarnate, but also a little bit different. Because I'm following the joke we make. Hello, my name is Storms, and I speak for the trees, going the Lorax way. But it makes sense because I want to follow that that punk poison ivy concept I'm carrying forward to basically have Thorns speak for the nature and be angry for the nature, basically. So it's a combination of my Pantheon Path. Obviously, the Pantheon Path expresses in a way that ties Thorns to the Bogovi, so the connection for Nature Wrath Incarnate likely has something to do with the Bogovi. But this one is a fourth path. It's basically, the way I see it, the title, they'll take their other paths through this title up until it's time to become a demigod and then further. And that's my rant, but I don't know if they make sense, so I'll let you judge and give me your feedback now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems reselect. Could you repeat the exact wording of it?
Okay, it's rebellious voice of nature.
Yeah.
Rebellious from Trickster, voice as for the judge, and of nature for the warrior, because that's what I fight for, basically.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good distillation of like who Thorns is as like narratively, as well as sort of tapping on your callings, and it's ambiguous enough that like it could be used in a lot of situations, which I think is everything that you would want out of a legendary title. So yeah, no, that sounds great.
Well, thank you about that then. I think we have the one then.
Yeah. Like if you change your mind, absolutely we'll swap it out. But like that sounds great to me. Like if I read that and did not know who Thorns was, I would start to describe Thorns. I'm like, the rebellious voice of nature, huh? Well,
yeah, it will be fun to see what happened. What happens? For example, the books mention that once you get your visitation, people in your circle start to talk about you, and you gain this semblance of the seed of a cult, basically, and that comes into play later with Demigod when it becomes more important. So I think it's also part of the deed I thought of, that Thors suddenly found themselves with a big thing within their hand, and so they'll have to sort it out what this all means, because even when we spoke in character about Scions and stuff, they had not clocked in the possibility of being one themselves. So their life is about to change a lot, and we'll see what happens.
oh yeah, things are about to get even weirder, which is just the fun part. All right, David, how you looking?
I'm good. So I was thinking about my the way I've been playing this character and what I'm doing with him beyond my initial concept. And I was thinking about how now that he has access to the sort of supernatural stuff that he's always been fascinated with, he wants to really learn even more, and like maybe his like methods aren't great, but he wants to like sort of like bring this knowledge to other people as well, along with all the death stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking something like a legendary title of The Death of Ignorance.
Nice.
Or Secrets. I couldn't decide which. I think Secrets fits more with his like shadiness and stuff like that.
Yeah, I really like both of them, but I do think that Death of Secrets is probably closer to what we've seen from Damien, which is not necessarily where Damien's going. So I think both of them work very well. And
I think I'm gonna go with Secrets.
Okay. All right. And Elliot, I forgot to write down yours.
Friend to the monsters.
Yes, thank you. Awesome. Okay. So as sort of the next bit of we have hit the next tier. We've accomplished all those deeds, which means now we need some more. And since we don't have Jeffrey here, I'll probably just have us figure out the band deeds in the Discord. But for right now, we can figure out the at least the long-term deeds for you, because you have a better idea. Well, you can figure out what kinds of things that you want to have your characters aspire to as a long-term deed, And if it turns out that you change your mind, you change your mind, and we can adjust later down the line.
Okay, I do have a question of where we are gonna take back the story, because Torns is still on the wrong side of the continent, and I still do have the short-term need to make some progress into getting back home.
Mhm.
But if you want to perhaps do a little bit of time skip, I'm gonna just scrap that and see what happens next, and just focus on the long-term need.
Well, the neat thing is that we're currently in Mrs. Nathar's mansion,
Okay.
which is kind of a terra incognita, but you also have a liminal scion with a liminal relic that has already demonstrated teleportation abilities, which isn't something that gets covered in the books as a formal thing, because teleportation and super speed are things that you never want to concretize. You never want to be like, this is how this works, because it's either underwhelming or it's fucking bust.
Yeah, it's the sort of powers that break games usually, and make people and GMs or directors or story guides argue. So it totally makes sense.
Yeah, like
okay, if
we can get you there. I don't think you have to change that. It just means that the team needs to take a little road trip, which is nothing new. This whole thing has been a fucking road trip.
Yeah, also Elliot wasn't here last time, but Jeffrey just built Mitch to be the perfect driver for everywhere. He gave Mitch no need to eat or sleep, also journey and as a purview, and a couple of the other things like a relic that yes, the truck is now a relic and needs no fuel, so Mitch is just perfect to bring us everywhere. Okay, I'll keep the short term and think a little bit about the long term, and I'll also let the others speak a little bit.
Yeah, so like I could railroad you a bit, but I would also like you to play the game that you want to play. So like, speaking generally, what kinds of things have you found fun, or something that you thought of that maybe might make fun, but might be fun to do later? Just so I can steer us in a direction while y'all cause chaos.
I have found that I really enjoy personally being a face and sort of like figuring out, not puzzles, I hate puzzles in games, but putting together the puzzle of what's going on and trying to do that through roles and through role play. So I'm down for anything that really lets us like engage with a bunch of characters, which I know is asking you to make a bunch of characters, but here we are. I'm doing that. Sorry.
I mean, where's that note? I should probably give it a better title if I'm having problems finding it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I got 21 NPCs right now. So I got no problems making more. So yeah, like if if you want more FaceTime, that's absolutely a thing that can happen. And I always like mixing urban fantasy in general, and also and especially Scion, with a bit of mystery, things that you don't quite understand at the like you don't understand at the beginning, and you figure out enough to get by the end, but that you don't ever quite fully understand, because if you fully understood it, then it wouldn't be magic. Elliot, what's been fun, or what's been lacking, do you think?
I mean, I agree with David. I love interacting with the NPCs that you create, so I'd love more of that kind of FaceTime stuff going on there. Yeah, honestly. I wish I had a more robust answer to that one, but
No, it's totally fine. Like, I mean, one, I'm putting you in the spot, being like, all right, right now, give me a critical evaluation while you're looking at me. But also it's like, well, if you've liked what's been happening, I can just keep doing that. It's just a matter of me figuring out who and what are those things in between. Michaela, what do you think?
I think that probably I have enjoyed the occasion where I could basically smash stuff. It was cool because it's been cool for turns doing that too. Having occasion to be angry at stuff, being angry at something, it's part of the punk part of the concept. So that's cool. I think that having been removed from as an origin character, being removed from my geographical area, I didn't have the chance to play a little bit with my connections and stuff. And so I also picked up my Leshy follower, because I think it would be cool to, for the future turns, likely would want to explore what it means to be a Scion of the Bogovi and what that entails, if there are duties, if there are connection to make in that sense. And yeah, also I spoke about the Leshy follower, and for a moment I forgot that yes, there's Baba Yaga looming in the distance, so that's a thing. It's a very big thing. So I think the seeing the world and the people around Torns would be cool. And as for long-term bid, I think one that I definitely want to explore in the future is to basically get to meet well, not exactly the Bogovi, but the world of the Bogovi, the people, the denizens as an hero that are part of Torrance Pantheon, because they had no idea who their father was. So that would be cool to see that, to make that a classic Scion of the Gods get to explore the world. But I think that right now, the long-term theme that I'm going for is likely Torns. Found out they are Scion, so I'm gonna pick make a difference for my for my activities is not exactly make a difference for my personal mission through my newfound nature of Scion. Basically, I'm gonna be I'm an environmental activist, and now I'm a Scion, so I'm gonna use that. I want to use that and see what happens with all these poor views in the pursuit of making a difference for the environment. Basically, that's my first long-term bid. As also, yes, I want to bring the paint to chance and get to meet my other friends.
Chance hasn't been waiting that long, but it has been a bit. Yeah, I think make a difference for the environment, especially through using Thorn's powers, is going to be a not necessarily easy, but very organic thing.
Organic.
It's a good test run of Legend 1 right from the start. Then we can get to meet all the spirits on the. But I imagine that since I already have the birthrights, there are still some are gonna show up earlier, like my Leshy friend and my guide. But the whole exploration of the world can wait just a little bit. For now, we're gonna wreak havoc with my purviews and see what happens.
Seems like a very Thorns thing to do.
I'm not sure how to frame it, but
Mhm.
for a long-term deed thing, I'm definitely interested in chewing around some of the like Scion Titan spawn weirdness, like for BP, of figuring out like, okay, what does it mean that I'm some part Titan?
And the interesting thing is that like so like learn what it means to be Titan spawn. I think is a very interesting and nebulous goal because there are so many levels to that. Like you could flip open a book and be like, oh, okay, I understand, but not really, because there's a lot of information out there to absorb, and also there's the fact that like it's internal. Like, what does this mean for BP? So like it goes even beyond just intellectual knowledge to more of like grokking it. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming at.
yeah, I think that is a fantastic long-term deed. I think it will be challenging to determine when you've actually accomplished it. But like as a driving goal, that I think that can facilitate a lot of fun and movement. So yeah, no, I'm digging that.
So for mine, for short term, I very much, for lack of a better term, want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes with the Scion thing. Damien is definitely aware of Scions and knows what they can do. So finding out that he is one, and moreover, an incarnation of a god, sort of fucks with his like ego and like, who am I? How much of this is me? How much of this is him? Sort of thing. So I very much want to investigate, for lack of a better term, Scionism, and see what that means. I don't know how to frame that into a deed, though, or if that's a long or short term sort of thing.
I think that kind of Well, it could be parallel to BP's, but approaching it from the other side of learning what it means to be a Scion, both from an intellectual and also from a internalized concept of this is who I am, and like there's this aspect of who I am that lets me have superpowers and shit. So I think it could be either a long-term or a short-term. I think it's probably more interesting as a long-term, but like if you had something that was cooler, okay.
No, I agree.
Cool.
You're putting down what does it mean to be a Scion ? And for short term, I think I want to. So this sort of becomes a question. I know we now have a magic purview. In what's it called?
Player's
Saints
Guide?
and
Saints and Monsters. Yeah, there's like a magic purview now, I
Mhm.
think. I don't know how magic really works in Scion, and I don't know what's the difference between magic and, say, a miracle or like a marvel or something. But Damon wants to learn some magic.
Yeah.
I think I'm calling this Become a Wizard Damien.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
I don't know what that means, but here we are.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay. So I think with bit of a visitation, bit of a house cleaning and figuring out where we're at and where we want to go, I think that's probably going to be good for this session. I'll stop hitting my fucking mic one of these days. Edit things together in a way that's helpful. I'll still have us do the outro and whatnot, because like I don't know what's going to start or what's going to end in any given session. So yes.
You want perhaps to have talk a little bit about his level up for BP, since he wasn't there here last time. I don't know if you want to cut those together or something. Just throwing that.
You can watch the episode like everybody else.
We can if Elliot wants.
Of course, I'm not forcing this on anyone. I'm just throwing that the idea that perhaps everyone might want to say what he picks for BP for you.
Yeah. I mean, I can run down what I'm looking at. I could do that.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. It gives me the impression that I'm forcing this on.
No, you're not. You're not. That's that is not the vibe. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, no, totally fine.
Should I do the thing, or?
Yeah. So.
Do you need prologue or?
Well. So, what are you thinking for how you're going to advance BP? I don't. Did you already go through the steps, or should I quickly pull us through that?
I I know mentally where I'm going with most of the steps. So I can like sketch it if that works and do the specifics myself, or
yeah, let me.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about trading out the calling I had, because creator doesn't really feel like it's hitting BP's whole shtick, how he ended up in play. So I was thinking of doing leader, hunter, tyrant, if that suits. And then probably trading out the swaddled stone birthright that I took but have never used.
I just gave it to you.
Oh, okay. So that's what that was. Okay.
I was making it story relevant.
Okay. I got you now. I had never even thought about using it yourself to make like a sword or something. Huh.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah.
Mythologically, it's to fuck with Kronos, but like.
No, I wrote it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, that works.
Is it not the way of a TTRPG person to write something and not realize all the implications of what they wrote?
I hate how correct you are. I hate it.
Who among us hasn't been here?
Oh Lord, it's true.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. In my mind, the swaddled stone is an anything item that you can also just like go, oh, you need a thing. Oh, I just happen to have that in my pocket. Here, have the thing, and just don't pay attention to it in about that half hour when I recall it to me.
I think I got so used to thinking of it in that like duplicitous context of the Kronos deception that I didn't actually stop to think about it as something you use to be a thing that you need. So no, that makes sense.
Also, the name of my next band, The Kronos Deception.
I'm pretty sure that was like a Doctor Who episode in the 1970s. So
possibly, quite possibly.
Some British sci-fi serial, definitely.
100%. So yeah, you were swapping out callings so that you have leader, hunter, and tyrant.
Yes. Obviously, tyrant is the one he's inheriting from Gaia, which is going to be a thing for him that I don't think he's going to like. But he's probably going to end up with one of the more anodyne knacks from it. Like I think there's one where you can basically just tell someone to go away and they have to go away. And he's definitely not taking that for Addy related reasons. Much like other things, this is for strict. Oh God, I can't make that joke. Not until Hero's out or God's out. Yeah, and then I think the purview he's inheriting is going to be fortune. And probably do some kind of birthright to end up with epic stamina too. So, depending on how my dots shake out, Addy might get a boon. Or not a boon, a knack.
Wow, I just overstimulated myself. So you were talking about birthright that gives access to what?
Epic stamina.
Thank you.
Yes. Which comes with a weird epicenter since I'm a Titan. Where, because Titans get weird, rules for that. So it is, where is it? So for epic stamina, you gain +1 scale against all attempts to physically harm you. However, you ablate stuff so much that it causes collateral damage to things around you. So I don't know if you're wanting to use the collateral pool. If you are, then it adds a die directly to collateral. If not, it instead deals damage to a character or object near you. So you like try and poison him, and just like a nearby potted plant just withers and dies on the vine. And that's how the player versus player starts with thorns. Mm-hmm. But they keep trying to beat him up, and it just like forests fall instead of him. It's very counterproductive.
Yeah, it's some fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're great with mechanics, but also Scion's rule layout for leveling up is kind of wonky. So just to sort of like cross various T's and whatnot. Should have 5 dots in calling if you haven't purchased more. Like, rules as written, everyone gets reset, and it doesn't account for people spending experience, which is kind of weird, but I'm gonna pretend like that's not the case. And so for each dot in the calling, you have a heroic knack from that calling, or you can swap out 2 heroic knacks for an immortal knack, which means you should have 5 heroic or some combination. 7 dots in birthrights. Sorry, I need to there. I think you already handled your purviews, because you get the PSP from Gaia, and then get another purview from her purviews. 2 boons from whatever purview you want. You now have virtues, which we'll see how relevant they become. You have Legend 1 now, which means you can be fate bound.
Actually, since I'm a Titan with fortune, I can have 1 more fate binding than normal. So I can be even fate bind here.
Well, I'm fucking writing that down.
Yeah, the whole idea of like epicenters, where basically instead of getting the innate power, you just have like, oh, you're a wellspring of this. And sometimes that's going to be fun, and sometimes that's going to be less fun. But for fortune, it's just like, you are a super dense mass of fate.
Fun. For skills, you get 5 more dots. Attributes, you get 1 more. And if that 1 goes to your stamina and raises it to 3 or to 5, you get another bruised box. And the last bit is you get a choice between 2 knacks or 4 more points in birthrights. The book doesn't say it, but if you wanted to mix and match a little bit so that you have 1 knack and 2 points of birthrights, that works for me too.
Cool. I can make that happen.
Awesome. Fucking extra fate binding.
I think it also did, one sec, because there's another thing that it does, because of course it does. Fate buckles and warps around you, drawing the unwary into your orbit, carving strange futures for your companions, entangling fate's skein. You can have an additional fate binding, regain an additional point of legend from obtaining or compelling fate bindings, and may choose to increase a fate binding strength by 1 to a maximum of 4 if its duration would end.
Fun times.
That's going to be it. And I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen as a result of it.
It's fine. All right. So that gets us all up to Hero, and next session try to get Thorns home so that they can finally give Chase the painting supplies that they've been waiting on for a little bit. And who knows if other trouble is going to meet them in Seattle. I do. I know that there's trouble waiting there. To be fair, there's trouble waiting everywhere. But we'll leave that for next time. So go around the table real quick. Elliot, who are you, who you play, and how can people find you and or give money to you?
I am Elliot Freeman. I've been playing BP Beauregard Prescott, now a heroic scion of Gaia, and or Titan spawn of Gaia. Only time will tell. I am on Twitter at Elliot M. Freeman, where I mostly just shit post and signal boost my friends. And if you want to interact with me for some reason, I'm usually somewhere around the various like Onyx Path official Discords.
Awesome.
Okay, am I back?
Yes. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. I love my computer, but sometimes. Okay. Sorry, I was saying I'm Michele Masa. I've been playing Elena Torrance Rappaccini, the Scion of Velas. And you can find me also on the Onyx Path Discord. And I mostly lurk in there because that's what I always have been doing in this stuff. But if you say stuff I feel I can contribute to, I'll appear from the shadows and contribute. Okay. What to promote? I always say that I wrote They Came From supplement for Christmas movies. They Came From the North Pole. You can find it on Dry2 RPG. And also buy They Came From stuff because it helps the line to go forward and me to have pitch happen and hire my friends to write them. So that's cool.
Yeah. David, who are you? Who do you play? And how can people find you or throw money at you?
My name is David Castro, they, them. I can be found on Twitter at The Inked Knight, I'm on the Onyx Path Discord, but I mostly just lurk when I check it at all because too many Discords make difficult work. Not much to promote besides go pick up Dragon. I wrote the Joker. Tell me that they're great. And that's all from me.
The Joker are great. Thank you for writing them. I'm Hiromi Cota, they, them. The line developer and whatnot for Scion. Do a bunch of stuff. Wrote these things. And you can find me on Twitter or the Onyx Path Discord. I also have a TikTok that I haven't updated in like, I don't know, probably 6 months at this point, and people keep following me. I don't know why. It's not helpful, but yeah, it looks like there's enough of us lurking in the Onyx Path Discord in the Scion area that if you have a question, don't add us. That's actually against the server rules. But if you have a question, you can ask it in there, and one of us or one of the very enthusiastic fans in there will probably get you sorted out, because there's a lot of us who really like this game and we would like more people to have fun playing it. So we'll see you next time. We're still in a pandemic. Fucking vax the shit out of yourself. Fucking everything. Stop getting infected.
No.
See ya.